Hey guys, what's going on? It's Josh from Tale of Two Subies. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll already know what's going on. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you need to get yourself right. Go follow us on Instagram. I'll wait. Okay, good. Today we're going to be installing the JDM wheel arch moldings on my 2018 Subaru Outback 3.6R Touring. So, before we get into that, I just wanted to show you guys the label here. This is our Subaru, these are our Subaru genuine parts. So that's the product, the model product number for a 2018 Outback. What we've already done, so this is not going to be an unboxing or anything, but I wanted to show you what we've done. So the pieces all come individually wrapped, basically, you know, when you get them from eBay or from SMY, who we went through. And what we've done is we've kind of grouped them by where on the vehicle they'll be installed. So you can see this one says, this one is for our left front. And basically, this way we've got all four wheels kind of accounted for when we start installing. Now the other thing I wanted to show you, and the reason we're on camera before actually installing it on the vehicle, I wanted to show you exactly what these things look like in person, and they're really interesting. When we got these in the mail a couple days ago, we were really surprised because do you see how flexible these are? Like, they don't look in pictures like they are, you know, this flexible, but they feel like they're solid rubber. I don't think they are. You can see here, this will be going on the vehicle, so this is the last time we're ever going to see the backside of these. But you can see, can you see that? Our Subaru made in Japan. This is a left-hand front fender. You see that? And on this piece, we've got two kind of like automotive tape strips. But do you see how flexible this thing is? Is that coming across in video? I hope so. But like, this thing is super flexible, and the texture on here, just scuffed it up, but oh well. The texture on here is really, really pliable, which is neat because this feels like it can really take a hit. You know, if somebody opened their door into you, if you had a rock, you know, as you're off-roading, if you had something come and hit the plastic piece, or this, you know, this plastic rubberish piece, it doesn't feel like it will crack, and importantly, it doesn't feel like it will, you know, deform or in any kind of way. So it does feel like it's made to be very permanent on your car, which is really great. So we're just gonna go ahead and start installing these. We're gonna do one side first, just to make sure we know what we're doing. Then we'll go ahead and film the other side, and that's what you guys will see. So keep with us. Okay, so we're gonna show you exactly how, from start to finish, and we'll probably speed this up, but we're gonna show you exactly start to finish how these fender liners go onto the car. We started with the front on the other side, and that seemed to work best because the front is a little bit easier to get on the car than the back. So we're just gonna go through that same process. We're gonna film the whole thing, and you guys will get to see everything. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna blue tape down exactly where we want the fender liners to sit. You don't really need to do a whole lot of tape, just enough to hold it on so you get a good idea, and you can place it back on when you've got the whole thing wiped down and everything good to go. Okay, so now we're gonna step back and look and see exactly what that looks like from a distance. Again, what you wanna make sure of is that this seam here looks okay, and the same thing with this seam here. You wanna make sure that what's gonna be really noticeable, again, also because this is a white car, but you really want to make sure that you don't have lines of white cutting through this thing, and make it look as flush as possible. Oh, and I just scratched my paint with my watch. Don't do that. You don't do that. Okay, so we made our marks. We made our marks with the Sharpie. Now we're just gonna go in here, wipe the whole area down with the alcohol pads, and then we'll stick our clear tape to protect the paint. We're gonna lift off some of this, not all of it, so that we can lift this up. And what we'll do is we'll tape it in place, so this one will stay exactly where it is, and that way we know we can just lift it back down. I crumpled mine by accident, don't do that. But here we've got our little stickies, and again, we're just gonna put them where the Sharpie marks are so that we know not to damage our paint. And we're good to go. We're gonna start sticking this down. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna peel off the small section, leaning on it. We're gonna peel off the small sections up here. And then that way, so what we'll do, we'll start with the small sections, and then we'll peel part of these off starting at the end, and then that way we can just kind of yank them off as we go. So we've got, you see how this, can you see this? We've got a little end of it here. We're gonna make sure that this stays on the outside so that we can yank it and peel it, and same with this guy. So now, we're gonna take off the blue tape we had on the inside, get this guy back into place. So again, really important, keep a little bit of your backing visible here so you can just pull it as you go. Good?
Yeah, it's lined.
Okay, and again, one more time. We're just gonna put our blue tape on, back on, mock it up one more time, pull this guy back into place. Okay, let's step back for a minute. Alright, so that looks good. We're just gonna start pulling that tape back. Okay, so we've already gotten, we already stuck down smaller pieces, so these two are actually already secured there. Now, we're just gonna peel off, actually let's do the small one first. This one was harder last time, so we're just gonna do this first. And see, just pull it gently. If you start to feel it catch on something, or you know, like it doesn't want to pull off, just go very slowly. So do the inner one first, because that way if something does happen you can kind of peer in, you can pull this back and peer in there. But this one actually seems to be doing okay. The other one was harder. Okay, so now that this whole line here, since they're all permanently stuck down, we can actually go ahead and remove our tape. And now all we have to do is the outer line here, and again I've got my tape pulled back, so this is going to stick as I go. This one comes off really easily. And boom. So I've got the clips that will hold the piece onto the bumper. We saved those for last after both pieces were on. You can do it however you want, but I think it's better to get all the adhesive done first. So we've got 3 kinds of clips here, and this all, of course, comes with the kit. These guys are all used for the front. Then these 2 are used for the back. These will touch the part that's metal on the door and the like the fender, the rear fender, and then these will touch the plastic. So we're gonna go ahead and get all of these installed and see if we're right. This one is actually really easy, so we didn't even really need to fuss with this. So we're gonna take off, again, we're gonna take off the small pieces of adhesive here, and then same thing, we're gonna start this one so it goes on like this. We're gonna start this one from the top edge and work our way down. Like that. So we'll just pull back our tape, like so. Just kidding, I forgot to make sure. See, this is why you want to make sure that this is out. Good? Okay. So again, just stick the outer edges down, make sure that's adhered, and then we've got our little tail over here, yank that out, and press it in. Okay, last step. We've got our clips. These are really easy. All you want to make sure of is that see the tab there? The tab faces you and not the inside of the bumper. So we put our stickies on to protect the inside of this painted metal piece. And there you go. If you heard that click, that was the tab on the clip securing into the little rectangular hole in the bumper guard. Then just two more down here on the front fender area. And this guy is on tight. Ain't never coming off. Okay, so the back is a little bit more complicated only because you've got three pieces. So the first thing, again, we're gonna do is just mock this guy up so that everything is in place. When we washed the car earlier, we popped this little piece off and it came from right there because we wanted to clean underneath where it was. Because what happens, or what you end up doing, is filling this top hole here. We're not filling it, but you cover it with a sticker, and then the bottom piece, we have a little pin that goes in there. So when you do this part here, you see how we need to fasten this piece down to mock it up, but the door's in our way, sort of, and there's another piece that's going to go on the door. So what you want to do, let's see if I can do this and you can see it, you want to open the door and put the tape kind of on the inside of the sill, and that way you can close it up. It's still mocked up here, but we can also overlay another piece now. And you just want to do the same thing for every piece you've got. Again, with the back door, it's just a little bit more difficult because you're not only aligning the edge, you're aligning this sort of backside to the door itself. So one interesting thing with the door, the little piece that actually goes on the back door, is that this edge is sort of cantilevered, so the inner edge of the cladding needs to align with the door edge itself, and it's probably kind of hard to see. But what that means is that when the door is closed, and let's say you open this in a parking lot, you're actually not going to hit the painted edge of your door, you're going to hit the front edge of the cladding. If everything looks good, we'll go ahead and just get this guy secured up. Okay, so one more time, we're just going to mark where the clips go so we can protect it with the stickers with the Sharpie. Then we can start getting all of this wiped up and stuck on. So what we've been doing, we did the biggest piece first because this sort of determines where this will fall and then also where this should fall. So that would be our recommendation. Do this one first, make sure everything is right with it, and then you can go and move to the smaller pieces. So now this piece is a little bit interesting because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 separate pieces of adhesive. So what we did for the first side, and I think we're going to do it again because it worked pretty well, is we're going to remove this piece here, we're going to take off this piece, and then we'll sort of peel these out from the inside. Okay, so one thing we need to do first with this one, we've got a little notch there, if you can see that. That's going to sit right here in the bumper. So this needs to go in, and then our little white push pin will fit into that little push hole there. And you'll hear a confirmation click. Okay. So that really does help you position the bottom of this thing. Okay, so we're going to put our stickies here on the door, again to protect the paint. I'm basically going to just mark where the little holes for the clips are. And we'll go ahead and wipe it down with the alcohol wipe, and we'll go ahead and put our sticky on. Okay, so you saw I crinkled my little sticky sheet earlier. Don't do that. So I've actually run out of stickers, so I'm gonna have to improvise. We're running inside to see if we have any packing tape that we can use. We have packing tape. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a little bit, enough to cover that little hole. And that's perfect. So, you know, in a pinch, Scotch packing tape will work. Okay, so same thing with this one. We're gonna take off the small piece here, and then we'll start to peel this back from the top. Okay, so the last thing with that rear quarter panel, we've got this guy, and he's got little threads in there. So the way that this works, okay, the side with the little screw with the threads in it goes backwards behind this little hole. So the thick part of this clip goes in behind the hole, and then it holds it down. And so when you bring this part over here, the screw will go right in that little hole there. And the very last piece of this is we're just gonna put that little screw right in here, and it'll tighten itself right up. All right, and last, we're just gonna do the clips and we'll be set. And we'll be done. We'll be completely done. That's gonna wrap up our installation. I'll show you a couple of photos and stuff. Hey guys, okay, so we just wrapped up the installation, and I just wanted to close the video with a couple thoughts. I am freaking delighted to finally have these on. This has been a dream of mine. Like, this has been one of my like top priorities ever since getting the car, and I could not be happier with the results. We'll definitely post more pictures of the car on our Instagram, which is at A Tale of Two Subies. I highly recommend that anybody with an Outback, a 5th generation Outback, do these fender wheel arch moldings. The only thing, I think there are a couple things to consider though. So one, you know, you really do have to consider and think about buying a second set. We're gonna get a second set for this car. We might do it to our red Outback as well. But think about it, because, you know, let's say I get into an accident and the whole front, you know, rear bumper or the side fenders or whatever have to come off the car. A body shop is not going to order me you know, these wheel arch moldings. It would take just way too long. They might not, you know, they probably couldn't even write it into insurance because it's not original equipment from this vehicle, even though it is Subaru OEM equipment. And with this generation going out of production this year in 2019, I don't know if I'll be able to get those anymore. So I would like to, you know, have an extra set on hand, just in case. So I think if you are going to do this, you do just have to keep in mind that, you know, all in, you probably will be spending upwards of like, you know, $1,300 or $1,400 for 2 sets of these. You know, again, we paid like $612 for ours, so maybe, you know, $1,200 to $1,300 for 2 sets, which I don't think is necessarily a bad deal for what I got. The other thing about, you know, just keeping in mind when you're putting these on, we did ours today. We kind of jumped the gun because it is about 70 degrees outside right now. I've got the windows down and it's mid-February here in Austin. So, you know, save this install, buy the parts now or whatever, but save the install for a nice warm day, because it really will change the way that adhesive adheres to the paint. I hope that this YouTube video helped you. I hope that you enjoy. If you do decide to go with these, I think you'll be as delighted as I am. that's about it. So thanks so much for watching this video. We apologize that it went so long, but we had a lot of interest on our Instagram channel before doing it, and so we really just wanted to show you everything that we did so that you would know exactly what you're getting into if you choose to do it yourself. So that's about it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you over on Instagram. Take care.